Hi, I hope you're doing well today. I just want to make a quick video today about what I like to call modern day Pharisees. And I am sure if you know anything about the Bible and specifically the gospel accounts, because that's really the only place where they are mentioned, you know exactly who I'm talking about, both scripturally, historically, and even today in our modern world. Um, and, so the Pharisees, and when Jesus was alive, were Jews who spent a lot of time in the temple and followed the laws and the codes perfectly. They were very strict and upright, but also very much enjoyed looking down on others and cutting others down, and just had a lot of, they really struggled with pride in their lives, and were not walking in the Spirit, and they were walking in the flesh. And so there are a lot of people who are just like that today. They're not Jews. There are definitely Jews that still have that mentality, and just hoity-toity, high and mighty, but I'm talking specifically about Christians today, not the Orthodox Jew who believes that the Jews are the chosen people and all of that. I'm not talking about that today. I'm talking about the Christian who goes to church all the time, and they have a strict diet, or they have a strict dress code that they adhere to. I'm not saying that any of that is bad. I have that as well. But the main thing about these people that is not pleasing to the Lord is their attitude towards people who, as they perceive it, fall short, and do not do all of the things that they do to their perceived perfection. Nobody is perfect, and if you say that you are, one, you're lying, and two, you're suffering from pride. And I really think that pride is one of the most tricky and sneaky of all sins. We have what people would call is like a conscience in our hearts, and the way that I conceptualize it is, I believe that when God creates us, when God knits us in our mother's womb, He writes His law on our hearts. And so we know in our hearts deep down what is right and what is wrong. We just have the inclination to do what is wrong more than we have the inclination to do what is right. And so often it's easier to do what is wrong than what is right. Or we may not even know it. We may not even notice it until we've already done it. Like even the thoughts that we have sometimes can be sinful, and we can fall into that trap before we even recognize what we've done, and then it's too late. But anyways, that was a little bit off topic. I want to talk about the modern day Pharisees and how hurtful they can be to people, and how they can really drive people away from the church and from God. And I've been hurt. I've been hurt real bad by people who claim the name of Jesus Christ, and they, they will wear his name, but their actions don't. The way that they present themselves may, but the actions that they do and the words that they say are not of Jesus, and they are hurtful. And I just, as a self-professing Christian, I want to, apologize to anyone who has experienced church hurt and has experienced pain and destruction in their lives at the hands of this type of person. And like I said, I've experienced a lot of it, and so I know the struggle, and I know the pain, and it just makes you want to run away from God, and just not have anything to do with that, because it hurts so bad. But I also want to remind you that we are all human, we are all flawed, and nobody is a perfect representation of God except for Jesus. And he's not here with us in the flesh anymore, and so we just have to do the best that we can, and pray for help in this mission every day. And we also need to remember, and I pray that you always remember that just because somebody, a human, a person who claims to live for God hurts you, it doesn't say anything about God. He is perfect. He is loving. He cannot lie. And so we can rest in that, and we can know that the people that we live with and interact with in our day-to-day lives, even on our best days, we don't do a good job of representing Jesus Christ, and we just need to have a personal relationship with him and get to know him, and that will give us the grace to forgive the shortcomings of our brothers and sisters. And so I just hope that all of that made sense. I know I was a little bit unorganized in my thoughts and kind of going everywhere, so I apologize for that. I hope it all made sense. I hope that is encouraging to you, and I thank you so much for listening, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.